xRhythms.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for another interview. This time, we're interviewing Elijahretro. Elijahretro, how you doing, mate?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm good, mate. Thank you. Thanks for having me, firstly. Appreciate you getting me on.
Absolute pleasure, mate. Absolute pleasure. So, let's start at the top. Where and when did you start getting into music?
Originally, probably high school. Yeah, when I started secondary school. Met up with a friend and he introduced me to EDM. But back then we had happy hardcore, drum and bass and all of these different sounds. When I first heard them, I was captivated by the rhythms. But what really got me was the MCs that were doing it. Those guys hooked me on to that love for writing and trying to tell a story through rhyme. So that was my first experience. So it wasn't initially hip hop. It started out sort of drum and bass MCs. How they managed to make, the good MCs that is, managed to make what they were saying make sense and have a point. And that I found just inspiring, which shifted me then on to other genres, you know?
You got inspired to move on to other genres. Are we talking like staying relatively close to EDM with things like hip hop and trap and things like that? Or are we talking a little more broader spectrum?
Yeah, a bit broader. Obviously, Eminem had just come out turn of the 2000s, so he was an inspiration. Another one were the new metal scene as well. So you had the likes of Limp Bizkit, various bands, Rage Against the Machine. So yeah, I had a spell in the early 2000s of just being an Eminem fan. I think I was that kid at school who had the bleach blonde hair, the white t-shirt and the blue jeans, you know, which is a bit of a cliche now, but I think I was that kid if I remember. I'm a firm believer of, like, if you put in a positive message into your head, that's going to help you to speak out a positive message. If you're putting things that aren't so positive in there, that's not always a good thing. But yeah, so I moved on from that to bands like Shakai. They're a Christian sort of rap gospel band, and if I'm honest, I had a break from music for a while as well. So I had a break, got out of touch.
What was it that sparked this break from music? Was it because it was very full on and you just needed to take a step back, or was it something else?
I got to the point where I was like, you know what, I'm just going to back away from music because I can't find anything with the right rhythms and the right kind of sound, but it's giving me a message that is actually building me up instead of kind of tearing you down and making you feel hopeless. We'll
call it a detox. Yeah. A detox from mainstream music. You're starting to get back into it. One, how did it feel to get back into it with these new artists but similar sound to what you had before? And also, can you pinpoint a specific moment where it's like, you know what, I actually want to start writing my own stuff and releasing my own stuff?
I think John Wells' album The Tonic, I think it came out probably 2012 now. It's an old album, but that had all the flavour and sound that I was used to, but the message that it was bringing was a message of hope. So that was the initiator that lit the fuse. I kind of mucked around with music and I always knew in my heart I wanted to do it, but I never pursued it. I was probably a little bit lazy, probably mostly to do with self-doubt. Once I worked through the self-doubt, I was able then to start to believe in myself, which enabled me to start thinking, you know what, I can actually rap and I can do it. Christianity will always play a central part to what I do in life, and that goes into when I'm creating music. Keeping myself centered on my faith is one of my main priorities.